Harry gone mad, ready to fight back against Palace decision under no circumstances even lose titles. Prince Harry is due to see his memoir released on January the 10th, 2023, and has already faced criticism about picking the title Spare for his first foray into writing. The memoir, entitled Spare, is due to be released in January, with publisher Penguin Random House promising unflinching honesty and hard-won wisdom. The Duke of Sussex is feared to have included personal attacks against the royal family in his upcoming biography. It's so unkind to do that. Despite losing their HRH titles, Harry and Meghan still retain their Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles. Meanwhile, their children Archie and Lilibet are entitled to be called Prince and Princess, although this HRH status has not yet been granted. According to royal biographer Tom Bower, the king should strip Harry, Meghan and their children Archie and Lilibet of their titles if Prince Harry's book Spare is as inflammatory as expected. I imagine that King Charles has been warned that any retaliation won't be pretty. All that King Charles can really do is to withhold the titles for his grandchildren Archie and Lilibet. Ultimately, I suppose, he could take away Harry and Meghan's titles as well, but that's pretty drastic. I don't know what else he can do. If it's as bad as I think it is, then Harry and Meghan have gone fully rogue. The best family can do is to break ties with them. To strip his son of his dukedom, Charles would need an Act of Parliament. Harry and Meghan's children, Lilibet and Archie, became eligible for an HRH style and the titles of Prince and Princess following Charles's accession to the throne, as the grandchildren of the sovereign. While the palace has not shared whether the monarch wants to give titles to his California-based grandchildren, royal author Katie Nicholl argued he may wait until the publication of Harry's memoir to be released on January the 10th before making a decision about Archie and Lily's titles. At the start of 2020, the couple relinquished their roles as working members of the royal family when they moved from the UK to live in the US. They've been able to keep their respective Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles, although royal family enthusiast Niall Gardiner has warned they could be lost if Harry's book contains attacks against the family. What he's doing is looking back and hanging on to it. What's even worse, in a small way, is that the title in other countries around the world is leftover, as if he's some sort of leftover on the plate. And I ask the question, does he want to be king? And I'm quite sure, 100%, he doesn't. He wants his freedom. Buckingham Palace will be very concerned by the release of Harry's book. There is a lot of nervousness around it. Harry and Meghan will be cast into the wilderness and lose their royal titles if this is an all-out onslaught against his family. Mr. Gardiner believes Harry's book could be angry and bitter and could do a great deal of damage to the royal family. He warned, the release of the memoir from the Duke of Sussex is the publishing equivalent of a grenade being thrown into Buckingham Palace, with the impact of Harry and Meghan standing in the royal family being catastrophic. The tone of book based on the title looks to be very dark. It could be the publishing equivalent of a grenade being thrown into Buckingham Palace. This book serves no constructive purpose. The long-term consequences for the monarchy are very damaging. The impact on Harry and Meghan standing in the royal family will be catastrophic. They'll lose their royal titles if there are attacks in this book.